Okay, good morning. This is take two. Friend of mine and Lisa's came up with his wife, Guy and Dianne, to help me get this first course down. It was a challenge, squaring everything, finding a place on the knee wall to position the logs. There's a 10-inch screw. These are 6-inch screws because they're half logs. The seams are where the two butt ends join. 1-inch holes drilled, and then spray foam is inserted to prevent any kind of draft or whatnot from getting in between the logs. That's sticking out is something called seal. It's like weather stripping for your door, but it expands and again helps stop drafts. So I can cut that off, of course, but there's an seal that goes down, essentially down this face and across here a little bit, and in the other direction as well, to stop drafts. This was a huge challenge, getting this all squared up and positioned. It's working with wood is not easy. Kind of does bend a little bit. Twist is what I mean. Here I accidentally broke off the bottom piece of that dovetail while we were trying to get this out, and so that clamp is holding a glued on piece. It's nothing to do with the structure, it's more aesthetics. This piece here is the longest one, from here to there where that board is. It's 18 feet. That was a big heavy piece. And yeah, this interior wall, which divides the garage from the living space, that's pretty much going to be done last, because how this wall goes is my understanding, and I might have this wrong, but I'm going to have to cut a notch with a chainsaw, in here and across and then back again like this, so that the row that goes this way along this knee wall fits in that little channel, and that's what supports that wall. And it also creates an isolation. This wall here is not going to be secured to this wall because of shrinkage, and this is really a big deal. This is a real big deal with this type of a structure because of shrinkage over time when moisture leaves, or when they shrink or expand because of moisture. If this wall here, this partition wall, was affixed, it would cause problems. That's more obvious for like the windows and door openings at the top of them. You build a buck system, and then you leave roughly an inch and a half gap above the windows for shrinkage, because all these logs, even though they may shrink a 1/4 inch or so individually, because there's so many rows, that adds up obviously. And that buck system is again isolated from the structure through the same kind of thing that I described about creating a channel. Slightly different, but the principle is the same, so that the walls can shrink, expand, shrink, expand, and it won't affect the windows because the frames are isolated. I hope that makes sense. The same thing with the doors. So there are a few other little technical aspects to this, but anyways, this is it. We got rain yesterday off and on. It wasn't too bad, but it did slow things down. Yeah, so there you have it. These piles are going to start shrinking. This, of course, took almost a day and a half just to do, because it's so important that these rails here I don't know if you can see what I mean. That's like a tongue and groove. So the next course will fit on these rails, but it's so important that these line up with these and that these line up with that, and you know, pretty self-explanatory, but that's why it takes so long. So, you know, the next few days I'll probably have 2 or 3 more rows up. My friend Jean-Guy is going to be leaving, I think, tomorrow, so well, I'll get as much help from him as I can before he leaves. I can't think of anything else. Lisa and I are both working for the town, and the long story short is we're on strike, so we have to put in 4 hours per day of picketing. Well, I'm not sure what time it is at this moment, but I'm gonna have to go soon and hold the sign for 4 hours. Yeah, so that's where we're at, and it's probably a blessing in disguise, because now I have most of the day to come and work on this. You know, I'm not missing work. So yeah, I don't want to be on strike, but we are, and I'm gonna make the most of it, and that's a blessing in disguise. Well, it was in disguise, but now it's out in the open. It's a blessing. So that's it. That's all. Tune in next time when I'll have more rows up.